Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jason White and this is my channel, Jason's Weird Reads. And today I have a review for you. Cami from Cami's Corner hooked me up with Gregor Xane, and I wasn't the only one. There's some reviews of this going around, and I wanted to review it because they were kind enough to send me the books, and they're signed Gregor Xane, and it's the Hanover block with this weird thing on the cover. And I went in this. I almost every time I check out new authors, I go in with low expectations, and there was no difference in this. And the first little bit of this book, honestly, I suspected that I wouldn't like it, but it turned out I did like it. I liked it a lot because not only is this book really weird, it does things that I haven't really noticed any other writer able to do. So the basic concept of this book is, and the weird thing is, this thing is actually in the story. And so I don't know exactly why, but in people's backyards, this thing will appear. And only the person, like the male who lives there, can see it, and it creates within them a lust to do terrible things to it. We'll leave it at that. Now, one thing that really impressed me and really started grabbing me about this book was how well Gregor Xane was able to recreate what it feels like to have those lustful feelings and to be pulled towards something and to want to do do things. and because that is on its own, especially when you're first experiencing it in, like, as a teenager. That's sort of what it brought back to me, is when I guess you could say, hit my sexual peak back in my teens. That those feelings of lust that really pull at you, and it's like discovering something. And that's exactly what's going on in this book, even though this isn't by any means a coming-of-age story or anything like that. But it is a story about human instinct, human desire, and another thing I really liked about this book were the characters. At first I thought they were kind of flat and even boring, but as the story rolled along, I realized that they were actually just broken. And, one of them, the main character, he suffered a huge loss, and he's just living day to day, and he's just trying to get by. And it's fascinating that, well, it's not necessarily fascinating, but I found it interesting that maybe the characters were a little flat because they are in real life a little flat, because there's something wrong with them. And there's something wrong with all of us. I mean, if you follow a person around every day for a couple of days, you're gonna maybe feel that they're a little flat too, and that's because they're just doing what the people in this book do. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it felt intentional. At the first, I was just like, oh, these characters, they're kind of bland, but they do change in a sense, in that you realize that they're not bland, they're just broken. And I really enjoyed that. I really recommend this book, especially if you like bizarre or bizarro type novels. It's definitely weird, definitely the type of thing I enjoy reading. And yeah, you know what? I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and I had a lot of fun with it. I was also given the second book, which just fell behind my bookshelf, so it's The Brides of Hanover, and I'm going to read that pretty soon. Basically, this is like the men of Hanover block and how this thing here affected them. The second book, from my understanding, questions what happened to the women while these guys were obsessing about this weird fleshy thing that they saw in their backyard. And this weird fleshy thing, it's not small by any means, it's like huge. And people started erecting tents, and yes, erecting is a pun. And so they would erect tents or sheds around this thing so that they could go in there and do their terrible things. It's just a weird book, and it's short. It's only like 100 pages, 113 pages. I barreled through it in like a night. It was awesome. I highly recommend it. Especially, it's not for everyone. If you're into the weird and weirdly exotic, definitely check this book out. Gregor Xane, he's one to watch, I think. Alright, so that's my review of the Hanover block. Thanks to everyone who sent me, or got someone to send me that book. I appreciate it, and I enjoyed the read. And so, thank you for watching. Keep being creative, and I'll catch you in the next bookish video.